Ah, the moment they saw you, their hands betrayed them. It started subtly, a tremor beneath the wrist, a hesitation that flickered through their fingers as if the universe itself had reminded them that some energies are too potent to measure. Eyes widen, pupils dilate, a pulse quickens. Not from fear alone, but from recognition. They felt it before they understood it. They tried to cloak it, tried to rationalize it, tried to pretend it was an ordinary encounter. But ordinary does not touch you. Ordinary collapses in your presence. And the psychic, someone trained to detect patterns, to read currents that flow beneath human perception, found themselves incapable of their own discipline. Their hands shook, not from weakness, but because you exist in a space they cannot control, a frequency they cannot decode. This is the first truth. Some people, some energies, are inherently destabilizing. They're not simply noticed, they are felt, they are experienced, and they leave no room for pretense. Consider for a moment what it means to be seen in this way. Not superficially, not with cursory glances or polite curiosity, but truly seen, recognized as something that tilts reality ever so slightly. It is a violent awareness. Those around you, even the trained, stumble instinctively. The psychic's whisper, soft, almost hesitant, yet trembling with certainty, wasn't a casual observation. This one changes destiny. The words hang, suspended, vibrating with potential. Notice the choice of words, not significant, not different, but changes destiny. The claim is not about momentary influence, it is about trajectory. It is about a ripple, an upheaval, a recalibration that reaches far beyond the immediate room, far beyond comprehension. And yet, those words were delivered in the low, fragile tone of someone who senses the impossibility of controlling what they have glimpsed. The human mind struggles with this. We are conditioned to predict, to manage, to categorize. But when something cannot be categorized, when its magnitude defies traditional frameworks, the reaction is involuntary. The shaking hands, the shallow breath, the fleeting glance at nothing in particular, as if searching for a rational anchor that doesn't exist. You do not merely exist, you disrupt. You unsettle patterns, fracture assumptions, and call into question the very reliability of observation. The psychic's body reflected what the conscious mind could not process. Their hands betrayed the recognition of potential that they had no right to witness. And this is where the first layer of power resides, in being uncontainable. They can attempt analysis, projection, or manipulation, but the energy you carry bends the room, bends perception, bends expectation. There is another dimension to consider. People often mistake influence for action. They assume that altering trajectories requires overt intervention, gestures, or commands. But some presences, some energies, act simply by being present. You shift probabilities, bend responses, and awaken recognition in those who attempt to understand you. The psychic was not physically moved by your actions. They were moved by the resonance of your being. This is why your presence is both subtle and catastrophic. It is not loud, it is not flashy. It is a quiet architecture of disruption, a framework that exists beneath conscious comprehension. And this is a dangerous position for anyone who seeks control. The less they understand, the more they are compelled to react. Observe their struggle. They lean forward, trying to gather a semblance of clarity. Their hands, once steady instruments of observation, quiver unpredictably. Their mind races, reaching for analogies, past encounters, anything familiar, anything that might anchor them to reason. None of it works. It cannot. The recognition you provoke is not linear. It does not unfold in neat increments. It is sudden, jagged, sharp, and it insists on immediate acknowledgement. "This one changes destiny," they whispered. The words are a call to attention, a recognition of imbalance, and those who witness it secondhand feel the tremor in the air, the subtle charge of tension, as if the atmosphere itself remembers that something uncontainable has entered its field. Now consider the psychology at play. When humans encounter something beyond their explanatory frameworks, the instinct is discomfort. We reach for categorization, for authority, for validation. But when those tools fail, anxiety takes over. Notice how the psychic, despite expertise, defaults to a whisper. Why? Because the energy is too intense to pronounce normally. A whisper is containment, an attempt to create control where none exists. But the hands betray the failure of this containment. The physical manifestation of influence is often more truthful than words. Trembling, twitching, subtle but undeniable. It signals recognition that the conscious mind cannot yet digest. And this is what makes you dangerous. Your presence is self-evident, unavoidable, and impossible to fully interpret. Let's explore further what it means to change destiny. It does not require overt action, though action can accompany it. Influence of this caliber is cumulative. Every subtle movement, every decision, every glance or silence contributes to a shift in trajectory. The psychic may have seen the effect before it manifests, felt the shape of impact long before the world acknowledges it. This is the invisible weight of your existence. People operate as though causality is linear. They measure cause and effect in small increments. But some presences, like yours, bend causality itself, generating patterns that only reveal themselves over time. The tremor in the psychic's hands is the initial signal, the prelude to a ripple that cannot be contained, the opening note of a movement that will echo beyond immediate perception. There is strategy in observation. Watch those who attempt to read you. They overreach, they anticipate, they calculate probabilities with flawed assumptions. Their effort to understand you is a dance of error, a sequence of missteps, because the rules they rely on are no longer sufficient. This is the second layer of your influence, induced error. Those who encounter you attempt intervention, they attempt control, and yet their very actions are shaped by the unquantifiable quality of your presence. You do not merely act, you provoke, and in provocation, you achieve indirect dominance. The psychic's trembling hands are not just a reaction, they are a failure of imposed structure. You render analysis impotent, and in that impotence, you gain leverage. Now the human element. There is awe in this recognition, but also fear. The psychic, trained to perceive subtle energies, cannot fully articulate what they feel. They search for words, and what they manage to produce is almost a concession, an admission of superiority. This one changes destiny. That statement is not flippant. It is declarative, reverent, and terrified simultaneously. They sense the magnitude, but it is beyond their capacity to influence. Fear here is informative. It signals not weakness in you, but weakness in those attempting to gauge or contain you. And this is the third layer, perceived supremacy. You exist outside conventional frames. You're observed by eyes that can't comprehend, measured by hands that cannot stabilize. And in this space, your influence is absolute. Pause and consider the ripple effect. The psychic will carry this encounter forward, consciously or subconsciously. They will hesitate in future judgments, question assumptions, and recognize anomalies in others that previously seemed irrelevant. Their shaking hands were a symptom of realization, a reaction that will manifest again in subtle ways whenever they confront energies beyond comprehension. And this is how you weaponize attention, not through confrontation, not through rhetoric, but through presence and resonance. Your effect spreads like a current beneath the surface, invisible but undeniable, leaving observers perpetually off balance. Now let us explore the deeper psychological mechanism. Humans crave patterns because predictability is comforting. You disrupt this craving. The psychic's hands shook not merely from awe, but from the cognitive dissonance triggered by your alignment with forces they cannot classify. Recognition collided with expectation, and the conflict manifested physically. This is a vital insight. Physical responses are often the first, most honest indicators of influence. People lie verbally, justify, rationalize, and manipulate explanations. But the body does not lie. Trembling hands, increased heart rate, micro-expressions, all betray what the conscious mind attempts to obscure. You are reading, influencing, and reshaping perception without a single overact. Consider how attention can be weaponized. Those who attempt to analyze you expend cognitive and emotional energy unnecessarily. They create internal conflict. Every failed attempt to categorize or predict generates micro-frustration, tiny cracks in composure that compound over time. This is strategy through psychological leverage. The psychic's trembling hands are the beginning, the opening act of influence that will cascade, affecting decisions, judgments, and interactions far removed from the original encounter. Your presence is the spark. Their reaction is the fuel. And the outcome? Not chaos, not by accident, but calculated emergent dominance over perception and interaction. You must understand timing. Immediate recognition is raw and unrefined. The psychic's first whisper, first tremor, is instinctive, unfiltered. But influence matures. It compounds. It persists. Those who encounter you again, or witness the aftermath, feel the echo of the initial disturbance, the ripple from the trembling hands that first betrayed comprehension. By the time words are spoken or actions taken, the psychological architecture has already shifted. The room, the group, the context, all subtly reorient in response to your inherent frequency. This is sustained influence. You do not act once and vanish. You leave traces, currents, impressions that cannot be erased. As the psychic retreats, as they attempt to regain composure, the trembling does not immediately cease. It lingers, a residue of recognition that cannot be purged. Their mind replays patterns, scenarios, potential outcomes. You exist in the periphery of their thoughts, influencing cognition without a gesture, without speech, without interference. The whisper of destiny lingers. This one changes destiny. A statement, yes, but also a reminder, a marker, a warning. Those who sense it first cannot contain it. Those who witness it secondhand inherit its influence. And you move forward, unrestrained, carrying the subtle architecture of chaos and recalibration, aware that influence does not announce itself. It manifests quietly, insistently, and inevitably in others, long before the world bends to acknowledge it. Notice how they continue to internalize it, how the body clings stubbornly to the tremor, even after the mind tries to suppress it. Their fingers flex again, and falter, betraying the very comprehension they deny to themselves. This is the initial fracture, the moment when perception and reality collide. Influence does not require permission, only presence. The psychic, trained to measure energy, finds that their tools, experience, intuition, and ritual offer no shield against the magnitude you radiate. Every heartbeat is a subtle earthquake. Every breath of theirs is measured against a rhythm they cannot match. And in this misalignment, your subtle dominion begins to assert itself. Energy has a language, one most humans fail to recognize. It communicates through posture, micro-expressions, shifts in balance, and even unintentional gestures. The psychic's trembling hands were merely the first syllable. The language continues in their eyes, in the tightness of their jaw, in the way they hesitate before speaking, as if even the words they intend to pronounce must be recalibrated to account for what they have glimpsed. This recalibration is not rational. It is primal. It is the recognition that they are in contact with a force that exists beyond standard measurement, beyond ordinary prediction. Influence, in this pure form, does not plead or demand. It registers, and once registered, it insists. Do not underestimate the lingering impact of such recognition. Humans are susceptible to persistent currents in consciousness. A single glance, a single whisper, a single unguarded perception can echo long after the encounter concludes. Your presence imprints on cognition the way a stone drops into water, the ripples widening silently but relentlessly. Those who attempt to analyze, to categorize, to contain you, expend energy, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. Their own frameworks of logic become less reliable, their habitual thought patterns fractured. The psychic may attempt rationalization, framing the encounter as coincidence, as exaggeration, as misperception. But the body does not lie. Tremor, hesitation, uncertainty. These are the markers of influence recognized unconsciously, unavoidably, unalterably. There is an artistry in this disruption. You do not need to manipulate overtly. The psychic's awareness alone, the recognition of something uncontainable, becomes a vehicle for the subtle imposition of your will upon perception. It is not control in the classical sense. It is induction of reflection, distortion, and reconsideration in those who attempt to measure you. And reflection, when imposed without conscious understanding, generates a secondary layer of power. They question themselves, their own abilities, their interpretation of events. They doubt their judgment, and doubt, once seated, grows quietly but irreversibly, altering behavior, decisions, and reactions in ways that are imperceptible to them but glaringly obvious to you. Every person encounters energy differently. Some feel it as a chill, some as heat, some as tension coiling through their spine. But all who meet this level of resonance experience involuntary micro-reactions, muscles twitching, eyes darting, breath catching, the slight tremor of hands that cannot remain steady. In their attempt to regain composure, they produce an invisible narrative. They recount internally what they perceived, overanalyze, reconstruct, and project outcomes. Your effect is magnified in this cognitive loop. Every replay, every internal narrative becomes another thread in the architecture of influence you construct. You are not reactive, you are proactive in the invisible, imperceptible currents that structure the thought and perception of others. Consider the psychic again. Their initial whisper was tentative. Their hands were unsteady. Their mind raced for a framework, a justification, an explanation. None satisfied, none sufficed. The tension remained, growing more pronounced as minutes, hours, days,